This is Abby Johnson with SugarSpun Marketing, and joining me right now is Stephan Spencer. How are you doing today, Stephan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. I want to talk a little bit about, you've written multiple books, and I want to talk to you first of all about the Art of SEO that was just released. It's actually the 3rd edition. So tell us a little bit about this book.
Yeah, it's completely updated. It's 1,000 pages now. I mean, it's really heavy. There's new chapters like a penguin, panda, and penalties chapter that's new. There's all sorts of new updates in terms of tools, strategies, tactics, techniques. Everything's updated. Stats, trends, and so forth. The future of search. Lots of changes. Yeah.
So what would you say, I mean, I know you can't really answer this in a minute or so after you've written a 1,000-page book, but what is really the art behind SEO? I mean, like you said, there are so many factors today, so there's not a secret sauce, but it's definitely a skills game. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right, so you've got the science and you've got the art, and you need both, right? So I'm a technologist. I've got all these years of experience in computer programming and everything. I taught myself how to program when I was a kid, wrote my own bulletin board system from scratch. But then on the other hand, you need the artistry, because if you can't kind of dream big in terms of campaign ideas for link building, for content marketing, how are you going to get noticed? How are you going to create something that's remarkable? You know, Seth Godin says remarkable means just it's worth remarking about. If you don't create something that's worth remarking about, nobody's going to link to your stuff, and then how are you going to get found? So that is like an ad agency creative director kind of persona that you have to take on, as well as that really uber geeky kind of technologist, get in there and do server tuning and rewrite rules and all the geeky stuff. So, yeah.
That is really interesting as SEO has evolved, because you and I, we've known each other for years, and we've always talked about the really technical side, the scientific side, but that's what's interesting is that as SEO has evolved, so have the internet marketers within it, and you've actually also written a book called Social Ecommerce, tying in the social side. So tell me a little bit about that and how you personally have evolved your own business to I guess, accommodate social media.
Right, so social media is a key driver for successful SEO, because if you don't reach the influencers to get the links and the social mentions and so forth, you're dead in the water in terms of your SEO. So that's like the underpinnings of outreach to influencers is through social media, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, even Reddit and StumbleUpon and so forth. So really mastering those social sites is a key aspect. And so in the social e-commerce book, I took a completely different tact and went after different target audiences and say, well, if you're an author, this is how you would leverage different types of social media. So there's a chapter for authors. If you have an event that you're like a live event you're putting on, event marketers, here's how you need to think about social media. Or if you're selling a digital product or physical products, if you have local storefronts, this is a kind of an unusual way of writing a book, but I've gotten really great feedback on that. So very approachable sort of book, whereas the Art of SEO is really dense and it gets really geeky, but so one of my friends in the industry, Amy Africa, said that the book is better than Ambien, so I'll take that as a compliment, but I'm not quite sure. But it is a really good book. I mean, it is the Bible on SEO from soup to nuts, but if you're into like trying to master social media, whether you're an entrepreneur, an agency person or brand side, you need a book that kind of gives you the how-to for social media as well.
An actual guide. So what about intersecting these two areas? What is the biggest challenge that you're noticing? Because like you said, that is a difficult gap to bridge, the very technical side plus the, people think of social media as the fun side, which it is, but in terms of marketing, it's a difficult gap to bridge. So what do you think is the biggest challenge in that area?
Right, so most people who are successful in social media don't understand the implications on SEO, and vice versa. Those successful in SEO don't really know how best to crack the social media world. So like, for example, if you're on Reddit, you can get burned really easily by trying to be overly commercial or too much of a marketeer on Reddit. They hate that. They'll come after you with pitchforks. So you have to understand the ins and outs of each social network. Right? So even Wikipedia is a social network. There's a whole community, and if you need to leverage that community, if you created an article, it gets AFD'd, which is article for deletion. You need to rally your friends in that community to say, hey, no, this is actually a worthwhile article. It's encyclopedic, it needs to stay. So understanding each social site and how they interplay with SEO, and of course most social sites no-follow all their links, external links, so you can't get any direct SEO benefit from a link from whether it's Wikipedia or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or Flickr, it doesn't matter. All those are no-followed links. It's all about the kind of getting in front of the influencers, and then once you've got their attention and interest, right? So AIDA, get the attention, interest, desire, and action, and so forth. So it is an art.
Definitely.
And it's probably best to get a consultant to help you figure it out.
Of course. And that's why we're all here, by the way. But no, this is great information. Stephan, thank you so much. We really appreciate you talking with us.
Yeah, well, thank you.
This is Abby Johnson with SugarSpun Marketing.